Welcome to this channel. This channel is for education and culture based on historical and scientific evidence. So in the past a month or so, I have shared many things on the body conditioning of Wing Chun. Now, due to this sharing, I got many questions on why is it Wing Chun are so different today. And there are so many different types of Wing Chun. Well, this question is not that difficult to answer. The core of this, there are so many Wing Chun today, is due to the agenda of the person who is presenting that Wing Chun. What is the agenda? It is as simple as that. For example, in this channel, my agenda is very simple. Just to show what is Wing Chun based on historical and scientific evidence. And the purpose is for education, so that whoever like to learn what is Wing Chun about or to learn the Chinese culture, be able to know what is going on. That's how simple it is. Now, but that is a very ideal case. Why? It is ideal case is because I funded whatever I'm sharing here by myself. So the goal is purely this is what happened, this is what it is, and this is Chinese culture. This is an education, so everybody be able to know what it is. But I have to fund that because everything needs money, right? Educations, you need money, and I have to fund that. But because of this funding, what in this channel is really straightforward. Now, for usual presentation of Wing Chun is not that. Since past 100 years or so, or since Bruce Lee's and Wing Chun is popular also, it is not that. The agenda is based on the personal business, making a living or making a fame. Those are the core agenda. As for what is the content, you can get into different category. For example, somebody might simply ignore the content because what they want is to sell their product, to make the money. Or even worse, somebody is just twisting the content because, again, they want to sell their product. Like those people who talk about internal Wing Chun, Tai Chi Wing Chun, you know right away. Those are actually, they ignore the contents, they just go for their personal gain. And of course, there are somebody who do not know about the content, who have a school and they do the presentations as what their teacher taught them, where they don't know the full content. Still, that is based on the making profit. And with those type of agenda, is not that pure. So everybody will go promoting their own stuff. So like a friend told me recently that there's an interview in Hong Kong with this person who is claimed to be one of the students of the Grandmaster from China. And when the host of that program asked him, because he's talking about Xing Qi Du Dan Tian and so forth, when the host of that program asking this person, so how to Xing Qi Dan Tian? What is Xing Qi Dan Tian? Obviously, this person not be able to clearly present what it is. And yet he have wrote his book and he claimed that he have the authentic Wing Chun history and so forth, so forth. So this is a problem. So seriously, in Wing Chun, up to today, there is no such YouTube show you how to Xing Qi Du Dan Tian except in this channel and in my book. None of them know. But they will have their promotions, they are the most authentic lineage and so forth. So when you do that in your video show and everything, and the host asking you at that, it is easy for those who have the experience to look at that and say, well, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. So again, to making money is not wrong. But what is the content? It's like if you're selling a cell phone, making business. Of course, everybody need to live and need to eat, need food. And it's not wrong to make money providing the service and selling the product. The issue is that product, the content worth anything? Does the guy who sell their product know what the product is? And in today's world, you can see the so-called harmony is, I'm okay with you if you're with your product which have no contents. You're okay with I'm bluffing. I'm okay with this and that. And then this person might attack other people's, and then this person might attack, counter-attack, all those kind of things. But none of them have any meaningful contents at all. That's why you end up like today. Okay? It is a simple stuff. What is it? How does it work? Can you prove it with science? Can you prove it with the historical evidence? Have you done it? Have you tested it out? Or you have not? Got nothing to do with I'm the number one fighter, I can beat you, talking all those nonsense. And also got nothing to do with this grandmaster title, that grandmaster title is learned from which grandmaster. Just be really pure on what it is, the agenda. But today's Wing Chun cannot do that because it invested too deep into it. So you see in Asia, all those universities saying that they research in Wing Chun, none of them investigate on the content. But it just say, oh, this guy say this lineage say that lineage say that. None of it just check on it saying that, is that true? What is it? How does it work? It never. It just say, oh, according to this grandmaster, that grandmaster. So in the university, when they do that, you know that it is just become a promotions. Like I pat your back, you pat your back, you pat my back. Everybody is good, but you know that when everybody making their money, but the Chinese culture, Wing Chun go to hell. Because the concern is not what it is, or the people, or the consumer. The concern is, can we actually make the money and looks good. So when the university do that, you got a problem. That's why in Asia you cannot, at least up to now, have a proper understanding on what is Wing Chun or other traditional Chinese martial arts. For example, I brought up Qi Ji Guang. How many people in Asia link Qi Ji Guang with Shaolin and Shaolin with the Wing Chun? You can see only people say, "Wow, according to Mui, according to Tai Fa Ming Gam, according to Ji Sim." Well, what the heck is that according? Can you get something out from the blue? I often tell my friend in Asia, I say, do you know 1850s is very close to us, very near to us. Don't give me all those Wing Chun or Mui, go to a mountain and then you see the snake and crane fighting and then they develop, create this Wing Chun. Don't give me that bullshit. Why? Do you know in what year is the Massachusetts Institute of Technology started? Well, that is in the 1860s. Okay? So in the West, 1860, you have Massachusetts Institute of Technology, one of the top technology university in this world. Now, just go read it. Now, you can just really clearly trace everything on technology. Now, if you say there's some Mui, some Ji Sim, whatever from Shaolin, from whatever, can create this and that. You look at the world, okay, the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, 1860s, and the Chinese 1850s. You know that Chinese 1850 is very backward at that time. Not to mention how many new inventions has been developed in the West since 1860s, like the starting of the Massachusetts Institute of Technology. How many? But have you ever seen a guy from 1850s until today that can see a snake and a crane fighting and then have the inspirations and then develop some kinds of martial arts? Like super martial arts, like beyond everything, which can override the sports science today? Even Bruce Lee, that's why I share with you that it is incomplete. His job is incomplete. Of course, it's a tragic that at his era, he doesn't have the sports science today. And also he don't have the ancient Chinese educations. And he just lived until 30-something year old. So his stuff is incomplete. He's not the king of Kung Fu. And Wing Chun, you have this from 450 years ago, from General Qi Ji Guang, go fighting in the battlefield thing, training, okay, which is evolve. So you have 450 years of history and experience there. So it is not legit to have any king of Wing Chun or whoever create something like a Shaolin monk. Well, I have not yet seen a Shaolin monk. Even Zen patriarch create certain thing in the past 100 years. But you look at MIT, Massachusetts Institute of Technology, have how many things? We all evolve with it. Like in my time, you still playing the vinyl, the black vinyl records, and then it just come with the cassette, the tape, you know, the tape for recording, the voice recording, and then you have a cassette, and then you have a digital cassette, and then you have the CD, and then today who the hell know if you were born in 2015? Do you know those things, or you're just using the USB plug? But again, in your Wing Chun, what do you have? all type of fantasy, all type of living in the past, keeping selling what it is, the story and everything. You go nowhere. You don't have content. That's why you die out. And you call this grandmaster, that grandmaster. And as what I said the other day, if you don't even know that the breeding have two types, the Chinese Kung Fu, the Wing Chun have two types of breeding, the performance breeding and then the regulatory breeding, then you don't know Wing Chun. Serious. Because the Chinese know that in the fighting, you're using that performance breathing where you have only the inhale, exhale, or the action and release phase, where you lack of the completion phase, which is not inhale, not exhale, the inhale, the inhale, the inhale, the exhale. Okay, the three phases in the recovering or the regulatory breathing. So you have two type of breathing. One is performance, you have only inhale and exhale. One is the recovery breathing or regulatory breathing. You have the inhale, exhale, and not inhale, not exhale, which is the completions. And if you just have the inhale, exhale, you don't have completion, your lack of completion, well, you have to pay the debt of this lagging of completions. It's going to tax your body. If you don't know this, how can you have any advanced Kung Fu? The Taoists develop their Kung Fu, the Qi and everything, with this completion phase of the breathing, which is not inhale, not exhale. The Buddhists develop their mindfulness in this, within this not inhale, not exhale or completion phase in the regulatory or recovering breathing. So anybody who tell us that, oh, that is the mindfulness, there is the Qi. Sorry. As soon as you never mention this and how to develop this, you don't have it. So it is just all talk and fantasy. Okay? So it is this simple. It's a human. What is your agenda? Now I'm here not to saying that who is right, who is wrong, but I just it's an education channel. Just open this up for you to let you see what is going on. Now university is a problem too. It's just about a few years ago, one of the top CEO and founder in the valley who have donated millions of dollars to university. I said, well, why don't you get me in here since you got the connection there with the professor and everything. He said, Hendrik, you cannot do that. Why? Because what you share is to help people, not for money. Whatever you get in the university, according to him, you need to make profit. It's a profit-driven thing. And then, because it is a profit-driven, thing will be twisted. It is no longer that pure. Thing will be twisted. Okay? So this reality, but I'm not condemning that university is wrong. I'm saying that thing will become complex and sometimes it's distorted, or sometimes it will not even give you an answer due to the agenda is become complex. Seriously, I don't even know how to help Wing Chun or Chinese Kung Fu. I don't know. Because most people do not have this pure thing I share with you, like educations and so forth. Those things is like is the teaching of my Sifu, my late Sifu, the late Zan Patriarch Xian Hua. He told me, he said, education should be not talk about money. He told me, if anybody teach you something which don't ask you for money at all, then you need to go learn. But people who start talking about money and everything, then don't learn. That's what he told me. And when he do translation and everything's all like this. So the issue is that, will you be able to get it pure? If not, then you know that, right? So I'm not condemning anybody. I just tell you the truth in the reality. So for the Chinese culture, the Wing Chun culture, I have no idea how to deal with it, because everybody have living in their own world. Yes, everybody living their own world. And everybody do their own choice. I mean, who the hell are me that everybody have to agree with me that to find the truth? The truth is not the name of the game for most people. Truth is not the name of the game for most people. Truth is the name of game of me, but I cannot force everybody to say that truth is the name of the game of Wing Chun. Got it? So that's how it is. I can open this thing up for you. Now, the second thing is about this internal stuff. It is very simple. What is internal? Internal is just whatever practice based on biological rhythm. Whatever practice based on human biological rhythm is internal. Whatever practice do not based on human biological rhythm is not internal. If we use a modern scientific term to express what the Chinese presenting. So in the Tao Te Ching, it said, Tao mimic natural, 道法自然. What Tao mimic nature is meaning that Tao is something which is following the natural rhythm. And the human is human natural rhythm. Now, as I shared with you in the last YouTube on the all-round practice, where in Wing Chun you have the recovery training, you have the fitness training, you have the strengthening training. Right? Now, Wing Chun start with the, like all other comprehensive Chinese martial arts. Start with the nurture qi or the recovery, and then fitness, and then the strengthening or the fighting training. Why? Because in this nurture qi or recovering training, one is introduced into experience the human biological rhythm. That's why your qi and all this thing come in. And you need to get into the human biological rhythm, and because human biological rhythm is different for everybody. Your body, my body, even me, when I'm aging, when I'm 60 something, almost 70 now, and when I'm 20 are different. The breathing rhythm is completely different. Okay, so even the same person, due to the aging, for example, your breathing rhythm is different. And due to your body, when you are tired, your rhythm, natural breathing rhythm is different than when you are all this charge up, ready to action, right? Okay. So you need that. And then with that, based on the recovery training, you really be able to handle and you be able to sense your natural biological rhythm. That's how you're going to get into the fitness training. And when you get into the strength training, it is completely a performance training. You even ignore that natural biological rhythm of yours. You just push it. So that's why for the strengthening training, you can get into body injury or long-term problem if you violate your own natural biological limits. And the training of a Wing Chun like this way is that once you feel exhausted or tear and wear, right away you need to get back to the natural, the recovery training. Your breathing has to adjust back to the recovery breathing, where you touch back with your completions state of your breathing or completion phase of your breathing. Otherwise, you stay on top of this in the performance with the anaerobic and so forth. You're going to get in trouble. Like you're going to generate all kinds of free radicals and all kinds of stuff, and you actually have deficiencies in the completions phase of your breathing phase. Your body, your nervous system, everything is going to collapse if you do that for after a while. So internal is just that. Now, if anybody said that internal, they never show you on the natural biological rhythm, like in terms of the breathing, I just shared with you. I mean, how the hell are you going to develop a Xing Qi to Dan Tian? How are you going to develop that Qi flow and all this thing? You can. So you ask me, well, Hendrik, have you developed that? Yes, just look at, read my book. Which one? I think this one. This one. I'm talking about how one be able to develop that qi. Okay? And it's not what you think. Where in the public domain, people talk about the qi. It's not that. Since 1,400 years ago, it is not that. It is very specific for certain people, certain time, for treatment. Because you train, if you're training, disregard your training meditations or kung fu, you will, of course, going to get into trouble. Too much. Train too much off the limits, and you have to balance it back. That's for treatment. Okay? So if you don't understand, you don't want to know anything what I'm talking about, don't want to remember, just remember, whenever people talk about internal, they need to show you natural biological rhythm. What it is, you need to experience. How to develop it, you need to experience, or else there is no internal. So like the other day, after I shared that YouTube on all around Wing Chun training, this the last YouTube compared with this one, somebody asked me, so how is Qi works in the performance or anaerobic? Well, it's simple if you have gone through it. The differences is if you go through the natural biological rhythm, you know your body, you train that way. When you get the anaerobic, your degree of freedom of your body and your breathing is higher than those who have never trained that way. So, for example, when you want to use your strength, exert your strength, how do you use your body to exert that strength? You compare one with the training with the natural biological rhythm versus the one who have never do it, but they're just keeping training. the degree of freedom of this person who have trained, begin, or build a good foundations on the natural biological rhythm is much more have a much more variations of have a degree of handling compared with the guy who never do that in terms of breathing, instead of using of strength. That's why people say, oh, I can fudging this way, fudging that way. It's not like today's talking bullshit. Okay? What it means is just like the same punch, the same forward punch. Okay? The guy who have trained their body with the natural biological rhythm versus the guy who have never trained that way, their punch, the way how they exert that strength is different. The guy who, of course, both still can be powerful, but the guy who have developed their body based on the natural and biological rhythm can pinpoint that strength, or be able to tune the strength much refined than the person who have not known it, not to mention about the breathing and so forth. And also, of course, when you do that high intensity training, the guy with the natural biological rhythm training, they build foundation from that. They know right away, if my body cannot take it, my breathing is getting a problem now, my energy is low now, they know it. As for the guy who have not trained for that, they don't know. They go direct to it. They push it. Like who? The sad tragic of Bruce Lee. And that's why you look at Bruce Lee at the end of his life. His body, it is, in the Chinese, you can see that the deficiency of the qi or energy. The body becomes skinny. The mentality become a depression type. Just read Bruce Lee's conversation with, like for example, the Hong Kong movie star Sekin, Uncle Sekin. He knows something is wrong. Bruce, the sad thing is nobody point at him and say, hey, you need to get back here. At that time, is that people know about this thing? Yes. What I'm knowing is only I learned from the past people. And the difference between me and them is because now I'm using scientific terms to explain to you. But the Chinese have a problem. Like the other day I tell you guys, all right, unless you come to ask me back for the answer, I will not tell you. So Bruce, even though he's in a very bad position already, the guy who knows will not say it. But they're just Chinese. But again, even if they go to Bruce Lee and say that, hey, you this issue, will Bruce Lee listen? Or Bruce Lee will say, well, can you fight me? Who is faster? So this has become a dilemma of human. Okay? So my bottom line for you is stop using the term internal if you have no idea on what is biological rhythm and be able to handle that. And if anybody is selling you those things, you know, right? Because the lack of the content. But again, as what I said, the world is already become like this. Everybody is for the money, for the fame, for everything. Nobody care for the contents. And it's only up for you to make a judgment and to walk away if that's not what you want. But many people won't walk away. Why? Because they're like a colt. I want to be brushing my wing with this grandmaster. And the grandmaster will will make up a branding like they really know it all, that if you're brushing your wing with them, then you can get the energy or whatever. It's always like that, right? So again, because this education, I tell you flat what it is. It is not like you go to Venerable Xianhua. I told you guys the story, right? I asked my teacher, Venerable Xianhua, for wisdom, Buddhist wisdom. And he asked me to go to a meeting when he lectured. In that lecture, I asked him the same. He was asking me some Buddhist stuff, theory. I was talking theory. He stand right in front of me about 3 feet and asked me, Hendrik, if death come now, right now, this instant, can you handle it? It shocked the hell out of me. Well, of course, he is a Zen master, right? Enlightenment master. Verified enlightened master. So it shocked the hell, and that shocked me. The reason why today I can know all this human biological rhythm, everything, is just because of him. At that time I was in the university, I'm doing good, I'm always straight A students, and I have all this theory. But with that, it shocked the hell out of me. And then I keep asking questions. That's how he shaped me. But this is not commercial thing, right? That's how the Zen teaching. So it is really tough to get a teacher to teach you if you really want to learn. But most people, seriously, they never really want to learn. They just want everything their way.